Welcome to the channel, everyone. So we just recently purchased this nice home. It's a bit of a fixer-upper, and I'm going to go through all the things that we're going to need to do to make this a nice livable home for us. So I've got a few major things that we need to take care of before we can move in. Biggest is temporarily sealing off some of these windows. Over the years, the house has had a few things go wrong, and unfortunately some of the previous owners have not taken the time to completely maintain them. So we've got some windows that are falling out, like this one here, that one there. There's at least 7 that we've counted that actually won't open or are in situations like this where they're completely coming off the hinges or falling right out. And then we have other things, minor things here and there that need to be fixed. Got some siding coming apart. It'll need some attention. Just before we purchased the house, a new metal roof was put on, which was nice. And I believe I heard that this turret was updated here a few years ago to bring it back into a more watertight condition. Got a nice stone wall here, which my father calls the snake garden. Snakes love to live in areas like that, especially up here in Pennsylvania. And as we come inside, we've started to move a few things in. We actually closed just last night on this. And as we come inside, we'll go over some of the areas that need to be fixed here. Again, we've got some windows there that need some help. We've got a skylight that'll need to be either repaired or replaced. A few drawers that are broken. These are all minor fixes, but we'll go through them on the channel, what needs to be done, show you how you can fix those. This oven was replaced a number of years ago by the looks of it. The date on the manufacture date is 2013, and somebody, when they installed it, didn't install it correctly, and as you can see, it's actually pulling off the wall here. Notice the big gap where the whole cabinet is breaking right apart and pulling off the wall. So we're going to have to pull that oven out and fix that, get that stable and sturdy so it's not coming apart. We've got a section of floor here, some hardwood floor that needs to be refinished. Dug up pretty bad with some heavy scratches and wear on the floor, and that's what we're doing today, as you noticed, with the floor sander already rented. The biggest challenge, however, that we have is going to be upstairs here. And this is a problem that's actually been occurring for a long number of years. I would say probably 10 to 15 years. And the original roof, when it was installed, there was no cricket put on the chimney. And what happened was that it would leak. And it would leak down this wall. If you notice, down in the living room there was a chimney that was, there's another shot in the window from the inside. There was a chimney that fed the fireplace, And in that chimney, it was leaking all down this wall. So next spring, it's getting close to winter now, next spring we're going to have to pull that chimney down and replace all of that sheeting on the outside wall, some of these 2x6s. It's all got to get torn out and changed out. And the chimney, which we'll show you in a little while, is actually a facade. You're looking at the inside of the chimney here. It's actually a plywood and 2x4 facade with stone on the outside. So much of this closet is going to have to come out so that we can get to that wall and then fix this problem. And that'll be a multi-day project, probably multiple videos showing what needs to be done. And we're going to have to replace quite a bit of lumber here on this section. So that'll be a fun video to do. We've got to do some more insulation up in the attic. And a bunch of various minor fixes. And I hope to illustrate a lot of these minor fixes for you, just to show you how anybody with some simple tools can do a lot of repairs on their own. Here in the master bedroom, we're going to work on redoing closets. Over the years, you can see where people have done various work in the closets but never actually cleaned up after themselves. There's lots of evidence of previous shelving that just either pulled out or somebody removed and then just left everything behind, the holes and all. We're going to fix all those, get all those repaired up. More broken windows up here that are dangling off the frame. We managed last night to get this one mostly pressed together and closed. There's a little bit of a gap there. Got some deck work to do to repair. We're going to be pressure washing the pool surface, deck surface. That'll be a really fun video, I'm sure. And down here in the basement, we're going to be adding a sink. My wife and I actually make a lot of wine, and we're going to be setting up a carboy washer over here and our sink production, or wine production rather, over in this area. And then one of my favorite projects that's coming up is going to be a home theater. So I think you'll all enjoy watching the home theater as it comes together. Got some ideas in mind for the design of that. We're going to pull out this closet, change all the lighting, put in some drop lighting, some recessed lighting, and then a nice big wall up on the front for the theater. Some seats here in the back. Might even possibly relocate this door off to the side for when you walk into the theater area. I think that might look a little better as you go in. And then we have lots of little minor fixes. Things like here on the bar, there's some trim pieces that's coming apart. Trim pieces that are completely missing. And we can fix all of that stuff. And get some refinishing to do on the bar surface here. We'll just get that sanded out. And then some new coats of poly. I'm not sure if you can see all that well in the video, but we've got some little pock marks here in the poly. Just needs some better coating. Looks like somebody rushed the job when they did it originally, but we can take care of that. few pieces of missing trim here and there. Got a faucet to replace. Looks like somebody had quickly put in a real cheap one from Lowe's. Stopper doesn't work. We can get that fixed. Again, all minor stuff in this area. The biggest is going to be the chimney and the windows. Those are all huge. At some point in the future, we want to change out the stove top here, the cooking surface. This is original from the house when it was built in 1993, and the challenge is going to be this particular size is quite large, and sourcing one that'll fit in that space and allow us to continue to use the same countertop will be a very interesting, if not impossible, fix. So we're going to have to do some research on that and see what we can do there. A lot of the sliding glass doors in here, they've had the latch busted off or removed so that the doors actually don't lock. The lock mechanism's still there, but for whatever reason somebody never replaced the actual strike plate. So we're going to take care of that. It's actually a really cheap and easy fix. Those strike plates are only a couple bucks. Somebody at some point had bought a relatively expensive bar to stick in the door to keep people from getting in. So we need to take care of that and get that fixed. And the deck is quite a bit dated, so we need to do a little bit of work on there. Maybe replace some boards, or possibly replace it with a Trex decking surface or something along those lines. One thing I want to do is fix this. Now these beams on the deck for the balcony, I'm pretty sure run in through the house. I don't believe that's a header plate supported by there, but at the same time, the support beams out here really aren't doing anything at all. They're not even barely decoration. All you've got is a 4x4 with some screws going through it. That's not going to hold up a single thing. We need to get a joist board going across there between the two, bolted on with some nice heavy bolts, something that's actually going to do some support. Maybe another 4x4 running up beside it to support that. So here's the chimney I was talking to you about. And of course this, as I mentioned, is all just a facade. There's a little concrete platform that's built on, and then it's a 2x4 and plywood frame, and you can see the mortar is all breaking apart, and these stones are just falling right off. In fact, most of the stones that have fallen are lying right here. A few of them, it looks like somebody tried to very ineffectually stick on with some silicone and maybe paint the silicone in spots. That's all got to come down. So not only do we need to pull that all down and build it correctly, but we need to pull that down and fix the wall underneath, because a lot of that wall underneath is rotting and in pretty bad shape. Some of the estimates we got for that job is going to be upwards of $20,000 to $30,000. So we're going to do a lot of that ourselves and try and fix a lot of that and save a little bit of money there. So we've got some door issues. We may have to replace the sliding glass door at some point. And out back here, we've got to fix some issues with the pool. The pool heater apparently isn't working. That'll need to be fixed. We need to replace this cover, and there is one of the pegs. This is a safety cover. One of these pegs here will need to be replaced. There's one that's missing right over there by the fire pit. I want to repaint this and get this pergola looking nice. And we also have an outside bathroom and changing room. Got a little shower in here. We've got some issues going on down here. A little bit of mildew, possibly some mold that needs to be dealt with. So we're going to need to fix that up and get this room up to what it should be. So we've got some repair work to do there. And then one thing that is actually concerning me quite a bit is that this tree root system seems to be heaving up some rocks here. Some of their sections are lifting up pretty bad, and that's going to need to be addressed this spring right away. So if that's allowed to continue, that's going to dig right into the pool deck, pool side itself, and possibly hurt the pool. So either this tree will need to come down, or we're going to need to dig down in there and cut those roots out that are headed that direction and leave the tree for a little while. And then this is the pool house itself. You can see all that with some extra light on there. Looks like that could be a bit of a repair job, but we'll give it a try and see what we can do with it and to get that cleaned out. Hopefully the circuitry is not damaged, but if it is, we can still try and fix it. Either a new motherboard or possibly some repair on the board itself. Depending on how bad it is, I actually do have a degree in electronics, along with all the other stuff that I have experience with. So the big part of my channel is going to be showing you how you can fix a lot of the meters and minor stuff along these lines. And there's a nice view of the house from the backside. And one last area that we need to work on is the garage. So we've got a new step that needs to be built. See how unsteady this is. And at some point, someone built shelves right in one of the bays. I don't know why, but it's completely eliminating the use of this bay, so we need to fix that. We've got 3 garage door openers that do not work. Got lights coming out of 2 of them, not the 3rd. We've got some broken garage door supports. This is the cabling that would normally connect to the spring that would allow you to raise the garage door. And this is all disconnected here, so we're going to have to fix these garage door openers. And then, if you'll notice, at some point when the garage door openers were put in, they actually took the lights and then just screwed in a little adapter and plugged the garage door openers directly into the lights rather than actually running power to them. So we're going to take care of that, get real power run to those so they function like they should, and then probably convert those back to normal lights so you can have a normal light switch in the garage. There is power that's here, so it shouldn't be that hard to do. There's a junction box up here, and this actually powers a light that's outside the garage. So we'll use that. And another issue that we have is this GFI here is actually working now. It was not working previously. So that's a big plus. This GFI, however, is not. So we're going to need to figure out what's going on with that. Got a couple outlets there in the garage. That one seems to be working now. and one is not. So we'll need to determine what's going on with those outlets and get those fixed as well. Quick bonus for you at the end of the video here. I've got one garage door actually working, and the fix was so quick, but we'll go over it. So if you'll notice, the way the garage door openers work is there's this little bar here that runs in the track, and that little bar connects with a pin to the door, top of the door, and then that track pulls the garage door up as the chain goes back. So this center door was missing the pin. This end door has all the cables that are broke. So I took the pin out of that door, stuck it in this one, and then this is an emergency release. If you need to open the door without the opener, you can pull that release down and that'll release it from the track so that the door can open without the garage door opener. So with that locked back in, the new pin put in place, I now have a working garage door. Let's hope the other two are this easy.